Alright, let's talk about your next vacation. Forget Paris, forget Rome, have I got a destination for you? It's called Stonehenge. Yes, that's Stonehenge, the one in England. It's a collection of very large, very old stones, standing majestically in a field, in Wiltshire. Sounds thrilling, doesn't it? Almost makes you want to book a flight, like right now, before all the good rocks are taken. No wait, the rocks are stationary, that's sort of their whole deal. My mistake. Still, an unmissable experience, I'm told. Especially if you're really into enigmatic rock formations. Now what makes Stonehenge so special, you ask? Well, apart from the fact it's been standing for about 5,000 years, which in fairness is longer than most garden sheds, the main draw is the mystery. The big stony what on earth is this? Nobody knows for sure who built it, or precisely why. It's like the ultimate ancient prank, and lose our minds we have, for centuries. It's a testament to humanity's love for a good puzzle, or just big rocks. This isn't just any old pile of rocks, mind you. Oh no, these are rocks. Now, before we get to the slightly less ridiculous theories, we need to address the elephants in the room, or rather, the aliens. Yes, for years some people have seriously suggested aliens built Stonehenge because, clearly ancient humans were too busy inventing mud. They couldn't possibly have lifted big stones without laser beams, or some kind of intergalactic forklift. It's just common sense, right? Wrong. So very wrong. It's amazing what people will believe to avoid giving credit to actual humans, especially ancient ones. Poor guys. No respect. Then there's Merlin. Good old Merlin, the wizard, according to a 12th century historian, and I use that term loosely. Geoffrey of Monmouth, a man who clearly loved a good story. Merlin apparently magicked the stones over from Ireland. He just, poof, teleported them. Some say giants helped. It was for King Arthur's uncle, or something equally verifiable. Look, it's a great tale for a fantasy novel, top marks for creativity, but as a historical explanation, it's about as plausible as me winning an Olympic medal, in say, synchronized swimming. It's just not happening. These kinds of theories are fun, they're like historical fan fiction. They make for great TV shows on channels you find late at night. Alright, so if it wasn't aliens or Merlin, who was it? For a long time everyone pointed the finger at druids. Yes, those mysterious robe-wearing, nature-loving Celtic priests. The original tree huggers, if you will. With slightly more human sacrifice, allegedly. They became the default answer for anything old and weird in Britain. Who built this stone circle? Druids, this ancient fort? Druids. Who left the milk out? Probably those pesky druids again. It was a convenient, if not entirely accurate, scapegoat. Or, well, scapebuilder in this case. The image is quite romantic, isn't it? Druids in flowing white robes, chanting at Stonehenge by moonlight, performing mystical rites, worshipping the sun. Maybe some light Morris dancing. It's a picture painted by 17th and 18th century antiquarians. People like John Aubrey and William Stukeley. They got a bit carried away with the whole druid thing. It was the ancient equivalent of blaming everything on millennials. These darn kids and their stone circles. Except druids were much later than Stonehenge's main construction. Here's the inconvenient truth, folks. Stonehenge was mostly built between 3000 BC and 1600 BC. That's the Neolithic period and the Bronze Age. Druids, as a distinct religious group, popped up much later. We're talking the Iron Age from around 300 BC onwards. So, the timeline just doesn't match. It's off by over 1,000 years. It's like saying the Romans built the Empire State Building. Close, but no cigar. And by close, I mean not even remotely. The Druids might have used Stonehenge later. That's possible, but they weren't the original architects or builders. So, if not aliens, Merlin, or the Druids, at least not initially, what was this magnificent pile of rocks? One of the most enduring and frankly sensible theories is that it was an observatory, or a giant calendar, a prehistoric appointment book etched in stone. Think about it, these ancient folks didn't have Google Calendar, they didn't have iPhones pinging them reminders, solstice in 5 minutes, they needed a way to track the seasons, for farming, for festivals. And what's more reliable than the sun and moon, apart from perhaps the eventual heat death of the universe? But let's not get grim. The layout of Stonehenge is suspiciously good at aligning with celestial events. The most famous is the summer solstice sunrise. The sun pops up right over the heel stone if you're standing in the middle. And the winter solstice sunset aligns in the opposite direction. Coincidence? Maybe. But it's a pretty big, stonking coincidence. It's like building your house so the sun perfectly illuminates your toaster every June 21st. You'd have to be trying, or just incredibly lucky with your toaster placement. And these weren't just a couple of lucky stones. The whole structure seems geared towards it. This giant calendar idea makes a lot of sense. Ancient civilizations all over the world were obsessed with the sky. The Egyptians, the Mayans, your Uncle Barry who owns a telescope. Tracking celestial movements was crucial for survival and ritual. It told them when to plant, when to harvest, when to party, and Stonehenge, with its carefully placed stones, could have been a sophisticated tool for this. A massive, immovable, incredibly durable clock. Section 5, Neolithic Glastonbury feasts, festivals, and really big stones. So if it was a calendar, what were they timing? Meetings, dentist appointments? Probably not. More likely they were timing festivals. Big ones. Recent archaeology around Stonehenge has found something fascinating. Evidence of massive feasts. We're talking serious prehistoric parties. Archaeologists have dug up pig bones. Lots and lots of pig bones. Not just any pigs either. These were prime cuts, young pigs. The kind you serve at a special occasion, not your everyday Tuesday night dinner. It suggests people were traveling from far and wide to gather at Stonehenge, and they were coming for a good time. A really, really good time. Think of it as the original Glastonbury Festival, but with more rocks, and fewer chemical toilets. Which, depending on your view, might be an improvement. People would converge on Stonehenge, perhaps at key moments in the year, like the solstices, which their giant stone calendars so helpfully pointed out. They'd feast, they'd celebrate, they'd probably engage in some rituals. It was a place of gathering, a focal point for communities. Imagine the scene, thousands of people, music, food, and these colossal stones. It must have been quite the spectacle. A prehistoric Burning Man, perhaps, with slightly less neon and a lot more animal fat. Section 6, the Bluestone Enigma, Ancient Healing Center, or just good rocks. Now, let's talk about the bluestones. These aren't the massive sarsen stones. Those came from about 20 miles away, still a heck of a drag. But the bluestones are the real head-scratchers. They come from the Preseli Hills in Wales. That's over 150 miles away. Why drag these stones all that way? Were there no good rocks closer to home? It's like ordering a pizza from another state. There must be a reason. One theory is that the bluestones were special, not just pretty, but perhaps believed to have healing properties. The Preseli Hills area is full of natural springs. Stones from such places are considered sacred or medicinal. So, were people going to Stonehenge to get well? Was it an ancient spa resort? It's an intriguing idea. Evidence for this theory is still being debated, like everything else about Stonehenge. It's what keeps archaeologists employed. Some burials around Stonehenge show signs of illness or injury. They too had traveled long distances. Perhaps they came seeking cures from these magical Welsh rocks, or maybe they just died at the big solstice party. It happens. The bluestones were the first stones erected at Stonehenge. They were clearly important enough to justify a logistical nightmare of a moving job. Section 7. Who actually dragged these rocks across Britain? Spoiler, not giants. So we've talked about why they might have built it. Calendar, party, healing. But the how is still mind-boggling. And the who. We know it wasn't aliens, Merlin, or initially Druids. So, who were these incredible Stone Age engineers? They were Neolithic and Bronze Age people. Our ancestors, farmers mostly, living in small communities. Not exactly the image of a sophisticated construction workforce. Yet they managed one of the most impressive engineering feats of prehistory. Without wheels for transport, at least for the early phases. Without metal tools. Initially, just sheer manpower, ingenuity, and probably a lot of chanting. Think about the sarsen stones, the really big ones. They weigh up to 40 tons. 40 tons. That's like 6 elephants, or about 80 grand pianos. Try dragging that across the countryside. They quarried these monsters, shaped them, and then transported them. Then they had to get them upright, and put lintels on top. How? Theories involve rollers, levers, A-frames, and massive teams of people. Pulling, pushing, sweating, and undoubtedly swearing. It would have taken hundreds, if not thousands of people, working together for extended periods. This wasn't a weekend DIY project. This level of organization is astounding for the time. It implies a sophisticated social structure. So why schlep all the way to Wiltshire for some upright slabs? Stonehenge is old, it's mysterious, built by clever ancient folk for reasons we're still guessing at. But why go? Why fly across the Atlantic, rent a tiny car and drive to Wiltshire, to look at some rocks, even if they are well-arranged rocks? Is it worth the jet lag, the roundabouts? Probably, yes, if you like that sort of thing. There's something powerful about standing in the presence of Stonehenge. It's a direct connection to a very distant past. It makes you feel small, in a good way. Visiting Stonehenge isn't just about ticking a box, it's about experiencing the enigma firsthand. It's a place that sparks curiosity. It makes you wonder. And in a world where Google has an answer for everything, a bit of good old-fashioned wonder is a precious thing. Section 9. Go on, visit the rocks. At least the gift shop has Wi-Fi, so there you have it. Stonehenge. A bunch of massive stones dragged halfway across Britain by people with too much time, or a sophisticated astronomical observatory, a vibrant feasting ground, a sacred healing center, or maybe all of the above. Who knows? That's the fun of it. It's the ultimate historical whodunit. And why done it? And how the heck done it? The theories will keep evolving, archaeologists will keep digging, and we'll keep being fascinated by this incredible, baffling monument, because at the end of the day, humans love a mystery, especially one that's 5,000 years old and looks great on a postcard. Is it the most exciting tourist attraction on Earth? Well, it doesn't have roller coasters, or trained dolphins, but it has something else. It has gravitas, it has age, it has the sheer, stubborn persistence of giant rocks that refuse to be forgotten. It's a reminder that people long before us were capable of extraordinary things. They had vision, they had determination, they had really good leverage techniques, and they left us this incredible puzzle to ponder, which is frankly a lot more interesting than another cathedral. No offense to cathedrals, some of them are quite nice, but they have roofs.